Did you know that World War II veterans used stimulants during and post World War II? For example, JFK injected 15 milligrams of methamphetamine to treat injuries obtained during the war by his private doctor known as Dr. Feelgood. What's up everyone, this is your daily dose of mental health, and in this video we'll be discussing the basic similarities and differences between Adderall and Vyvanse. I'll also be discussing my personal experience of using Vyvanse as a younger kid and currently being prescribed a low dose of Adderall, and the side effects it has on me and how I compare the two. Before I go any further, please like and subscribe. The subscribe button should be down in the right hand corner. Please ring that bell icon for future updates and more videos coming out. I appreciate you all, and let's jump right into it. This is your daily dose of mental health. Adderall versus Vyvanse. Let's discuss some of the similarities and some of the differences as shown on this. So, some of the similarities. Both Adderall and Vyvanse are used to treat ADD and ADHD. Also, they can be used for things such as narcolepsy, where if other stimulants do not work, they will sometimes go to an Adderall or a Vyvanse. Both are derivatives of amphetamines. Both Adderall and Vyvanse are stimulants that attach to dopamine receptors. Now, right here, when I talk about, again, dopamine receptors, what I mean is it's the brain chemical in your brain that a lot of people affiliate that feel-good feeling with. And that is where a lot of times people will throw the card out at you that if you take Adderall or Vyvanse, you're going to become addicted to it and become an addict. Just like, for example, a lot of controlled, such as pain meds, opiates, opioids, typically attach, once again, to the dopamine receptor, just at a higher voltage. Number 3, both can be addictive. As I said, since both attach to the dopamine receptor right here, that does sometimes cause that tendency. Both are controlled substances as well, meaning they are Schedule II, meaning they can be extremely abused. Now, once again, I don't mean to talk bad on either one of them, but that is one thing that you have to consider with these two, is that if you are prescribed Adderall or Vyvanse, depending on your personality, depending on your family history, there is the chance of abuse. This does not happen for everyone, however, it can happen. Because somebody who has ADHD or ADD, a lot of times when they take these meds, when it affects the dopamine receptor, it's because they don't have a balanced amount of dopamine to begin with. So if you truthfully do have ADD or ADHD, a lot of times, essentially what will end up happening is you're not going to get that upper feeling that compared to somebody who doesn't have ADD or ADHD. Somebody who does not have ADD or ADHD will feel that upper feeling, not be able to sleep, feel extremely hyper, and probably actually not be able to focus near as well. As for someone like me who has ADD or ADHD and have been on both of these meds at some point in my life, I can tell you that the medication actually slows me down compared to actually, getting me. It slows me down compared to actually that upper effect. Due to I had ADHD as a kid, now I've been diagnosed with ADD. So let's jump into some of the differences real quick between the two. Once again, please like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell icon as well to get notifications when I throw out more videos. We're going to continue talking about different drugs and ways to, if you're trying to get off of the medication, ways to combat some of the different withdrawals that come with it. Okay, so let's jump right on in. Differences. Adderall contains amphetamine salts, which is amphetamine and dextroamphetamine. Essentially what that means though is it's when you take Adderall, it will kick in very quickly. Compared to, as we talk about Vyvanse contains it's lisdexamphetamine, which will convert to dextroamphetamine before becoming active. So essentially, when you use it's the lisdexamphetamine, Vyvanse containing this, why the significance of this compound is it delays the dextroamphetamine being absorbed by the body, which will induce a slower activity rate or active rate in which you start feeling the medication. So right into number 3, Vyvanse is absorbed more slowly, once again, due to having this compound in it, the lidexamphetamine. It absorbs more slowly, and it takes up to 1 to 2 hours before working, and can last up to 14 hours right there. While Adderall takes effect within, as I said, within 30 minutes very quickly and lasts up to 6 hours. The reason it kicks in so quickly, once again, is because you do not have the molecule as discussed above, the lisdexamphetamine. So that's why it's pretty instant. Why Adderall is. And number 4, which I found very interesting, but I felt like I really wanted to add this in, Vyvanse has lower potential for abuse, while Adderall has higher abuse potential. Now remember, number 4 right here, for me at least, this is it's very subjective, point number 4, in the differences, which I will discuss my experience with them very shortly. Also, I wanted to real quick say, just so everyone knows, with a similarity, both are CNS stimulants. Just so everyone's aware of that, they are stimulants, and they are specifically used to treat ADD and ADHD, as I discussed, and also can be used for such conditions such as narcolepsy, if nothing else is working. Okay, so real quick, let's go ahead and just jump into my experience. So, I just want to, real quickly, when I was younger, when I was around 11, I was put on Vyvanse. As I said, I was diagnosed with ADHD, and Vyvanse made me feel, and I just kind of put a point here, but I'll explain more in depth. When I was taking Vyvanse, it helped, but at the same time, it made me feel too zoned in, and I felt too zoned in throughout the day, and I felt like my feelings, for example, were kind of in shock, if that makes sense, meaning I just kind of go through the day, my emotions I didn't feel like as a child I went through some of the normal emotional responses that you should be going through due to being on this medication. And then the come down at night when I come home, and during the day, it was hard for me to eat, which is not good for children, because their bones are developing, they're growing, they've got their growth plates, which are activating their height. And also, one other thing about it is when it did wear off at night coming down, I always felt I just felt like crap. It caused a lot more GI problems for me, I remember. I was only on that though for 5 months, and the main reason they put me on that, and I don't blame my parents, they just wanted a solution to know why I wasn't focusing in class or getting my assignments done. They put me on it because I was very hyper back then, but a lot of boys at age 11, once again, are very hyper. I was doing my assignments, but just kind of half-assing them, and I would just kind of bounce from one thing to another. I couldn't get an assignment done, which also kind of led to me my parents thinking as well, that I had OCD at the time. But I got off that fairly quickly. I think it was actually around 5 months. Which, once again, in the next video, which will lead into the next video, we will be discussing what helped me get through, because I remember this very vividly when I was 11, what helped me get through the Vyvanse withdrawal, and also what's helped me get through Adderall withdrawal in the past. Once again, I have no problems with Vyvanse, but for me personally, I'll just say between Vyvanse and Adderall, Vyvanse was actually a lot harsher for me. And I think there are situations where kids should be prescribed it if other things are not working, but I don't think it should be the first thing you should try is just put your kid on medication like that. But I'm not hating against it either. Okay, number 2. And if I could have went back as well on that, back to that time, I would have, I'm young. I wish I could have avoided that experience all in all, because personally it didn't, in my opinion, do anything that essentially helped me. Actually, those 5 months were kind of a blur. And then the withdrawal was So okay, now I'm going to go ahead and talk about my experience with Adderall. So I've been or Adderall, or as you dextroamphetamine, I have been prescribed this twice. So after I was off Vyvanse, I wasn't on anything for a while, which was good. I started doing my homework. I started playing sports, which really helped. But then once I hit high school for a year, I was put back on Adderall, and it worked. It worked way better. It worked way better for me for my ADHD, because it did not last all day for me. I can't go into specific doses and everything, but I liked it because it was something where if I needed to really focus, or even do some studying, that's what it really helped me with. Which I know one big problem in colleges today is people use it to study who don't have true ADD, which can lead to a lot of problems. Currently, today, I do still take, and I'll just say this, a low dose of instant release Adderall. I'll just go ahead and tell you right now, this is the one thing I will give away. I take 20 milligrams, and I break it in two, so 10 milligrams twice a day. And I have had really no issues with it. However, my dose in the past in high school was supposed to be it was 40 milligrams twice a day. And there's a specific reason why I didn't want it to be this high this time, because once again, I'll go into when I got off of it again for a while, the withdrawal experience and how I got through it. So all in all, really, before I drop the next video next week, I just want to let everyone know from my experience, Adderall has worked a lot better and does not have near the side effects that Vyvanse does. However, compared to the literature, they do say that Vyvanse has lower potential for abuse, which could be true, while Adderall has higher abuse potential. And it's all about, in my opinion, if you look at it from a perspective of, do they have, if somebody truthfully has ADD or ADHD, I think this right here could be flipped. However, if you do not have ADD or ADHD, I do believe that maybe, that Adderall would be you'd have more of a potential to abuse it. Also, just remember, the next video I'll be dropping, it'll essentially be dropping my experience withdrawing from Adderall versus Vyvanse and different things that did help me during that time. So I'll be talking about natural alternatives, different coping mechanisms that helped when I went through these withdrawals, or this can also too apply to anyone who is trying to get off Adderall or Vyvanse. It'll be some good information that is what has helped me and what has helped patients in the clinical setting that I see as well. So yeah, that's it. That is your daily dose of mental health. I love you all. Once again, please like and subscribe. And I'd like to thank all my new subscribers. I appreciate you all a lot. I really do. Leave a comment. Hit that bell icon. At some point, I'm going to plan on doing a live. And at some point, a lot of people don't even know I have a YouTube channel at work or anything, but I wanted the channel to grow more organically. But yeah, I just want to say I love you all. Let me know if there's anything you're wanting, any topics you want me to cover. As I stated, I'm going to do a part 2 to this, the alternatives, if you're going through withdrawal with one of these medications or a stimulant. But leave a comment on a topic you want me to cover, because I'm more than likely I can cover it in one way or another. Because I am a psychiatric RN. I've said that before, but I'm an RN, and I work in the inpatient setting, and I work on high acuity units, schizophrenia, psychosis, drug-induced psychosis. I work on a unit for anxiety, depression, borderline personality. So if any of you have borderline, I can do a video covering that. It's 3 units, and the last unit that I work on is also this right here. It's people who come in for drug abuse, who are there wanting to get clean. So I can give firsthand experiences on what I see in the clinical setting. And also I have my own journey of my own drug abuse at one point in my life, and it was not Adderall. It was or dextroamphetamine. It was tramadol for a little bit when I had a really bad messed up back. I'll leave the link if anyone's interested into a couple of my other videos on what is meth withdrawal like, what it's like in the clinical setting. I'll also leave my tramadol withdrawal journey as well. So yeah, and please like and subscribe. I'm kind of rambling, but just to let you all know, I love you. Thank you all for subscribing to the Daily Dose of Mental Health. It's a small channel. This is not meant to make money or anything. It is meant to give advice and help people out there who struggle with mental health. That's the whole goal of this channel. Is mental health is not discussed enough, and mental health needs to be discussed more, and we need to continue to reduce the stigma. Once again, I love you all. This is your Daily Dose of Mental Health. Hope you enjoyed the video. Watch out for part 2 coming up. Love you. Thank you for checking out the Daily Dose of Mental Health. If you could, please like and subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button should be in the bottom right-hand corner. There should be a subscribe icon. Secondly, if you like this video about Adderall versus Vyvanse, please check out some of my other videos that include opiates and opioids, heroin, fentanyl, because this is all about mental health and how we can decrease the stigma. I also cover my own drug withdrawal journey. And lastly, if you're wanting me to cover a specific topic, please leave a comment below, and I'll try to do my best to cover it. But just check out some of my other videos as well if you could, because this is all just trying to help people out there in need. Once again, I love you all. This is your Daily Dose of Mental Health.